Welcome to Flawless Shoe Reviews. As a foot and ankle specialist, I'm going to compare the New Balance 860 v14 with the New Balance 1080 v14. So they're two of the most popular shoes in the New Balance range, but they feel completely different underfoot and they should be used for different purposes, whether that comes to walking, lifestyle use, or for running. So if we look at the New Balance 860 v14 first, it's got a dual blended midsole, so it's got a denser foam cushioning in the green cushion at the bottom of the shoe on the inside, and a softer foam cushioning on top in the white cushioning. In contrast to that, on the outside you'll see there's more white and less green. That in turn causes a slight tilt of the ankle when you put your foot inside the shoe, so it's one of the only medial posted shoes in the market, and therefore if you struggle with pronation moments or you need a little bit of offloading of the inside of your foot, this works perfectly in that sense. But in the 1080 it works completely different. We've got the same Fresh Foam X cushioning, but it's much softer, much more plush. You sink into it a lot more, it's a bit more cloud-like as a result, whereas you've got a bit more bands cushioning in the 860. It doesn't have the two different types of cushioning in the midsole, therefore you get the same sensation throughout the whole shoe. Now it's got a lot of padding underfoot with 38 mils in the rear foot, 32 in the forefoot, whereas in the 860 we've got 38 in the rear foot, 30 in the forefoot, so an 8 mil drop in the 860 and a 6 mil drop in the 1080. So a much softer ride overall and has a much more aggressive forefoot rocker, and that's the bit that just tilts up at the front, so you don't get necessarily excess toe spring where your toes are held in slight extension, but this just facilitates a smoother push off of the gait cycle, so it transitions nicely from the back to the front of the shoe, where it's a little bit firmer, takes a little bit longer to get from the back to the front of the shoe in the 860, and that influences how you run, and we'll touch on that in a moment. But I just want to talk about the stability features in the 1080. So we've got some large sidewalls on the inside and on the outside of the shoe around the heel, and we've got a relatively stiff heel counter, so the sidewalls come up, cradle your heel and your ankle, try and provide support and help to control those pronation moments. That's a really important feature to have if you've got softer cushioning like in the 1080, because it adds extra elements of stability to compensate from the softness of the cushioning. Now don't get me wrong, it's not as plush or as mushy as what we saw in the previous version of this, but it is still relatively soft compared to what we have in the 860. Then as we move along the shoe, we've got a wide toe box in the 860, but it rounds off a little bit quicker than what we see in the 1080, which has got plenty of space in the toe box, but both of them come in a wide and an extra wide for those of you who need it. We've got nice plush uppers on both of them, nice padded tongues, and we've got plenty of cushioning around the heel cup, and both heel counters are relatively stiff. So they're both excellent shoes if you want to use them for lifestyle use. Loads of cushioning underfoot, a bit softer in the 1080, a bit firmer with a medial tilt on the 860. When it comes to running, both of them can be used for easy runs, long runs. This is really the master of those easy recovery runs to 1080 because it's got so much softness to it. It really helps to give you some nice recovery and absorb some vibration when you're running. Neither of them are best used for longer distance fast running or shorter distance race running, mainly because of the weight, which is 298 grams for a size 9 men's US, and they're more focused on comfort and providing stability in the 860 and providing mostly a neutral fit in the 1080. However, if you've got any questions on either of them on their use cases, please drop them in the comment section below. We've got links to both shoes in the description if you want to check out the latest prices on Amazon. Otherwise, if you found the video helpful, just like and share and subscribing does make a massive difference to us. Thank you very much for watching.